Good day everyone. For today's lesson, I will discuss about the role of HRM or the human resource management in organization and the human resource strategy and planning. Again, this is Miss Jero. Before I proceed with my discussion, I would like you to have your notes and pen. So habang ako po ay nagdi-discuss, kayo po ay nagdi-taking down notes. Let's start. These are the objective. I'm going to explain the concept of HRM, the function, the foundation, and the strategic management process, and the HR strategic planning. Now, before I go deeply what is HRM, let me recap first kung ano po ba ang management. By the definition, it is the art of getting work done through other people. So, ibig sabihin, management per se, okay, we cannot manage without people. Management in business and organization is the function that coordinates the efforts of people to accomplish goals and objectives using available resources efficiently and effectively. So once we talk about management, we need to manage people in terms of doing their tasks, which is the output must be efficient and effective to achieve whatever the goal or let's say the objective of a certain company or a certain organizations. What is human resources? It is the set of individuals who make up a workforce of an organization, business sector, or economy. So meaning they are part of whatever the organization, it is private or this is let's say public sector. They have different terms or mga iba't ibang klaseng katawagan on how we address our manpower or workforce. Which is ito nga, number one is manpower, talent. So usually, naririnig natin ito kapag po ang isang individual or let's say yung isang empleyado ay ang trabaho niya is let's say related with arts. It's either sila ay nasa entertainment, sila ay nasa let's say pagpipaint, sila ay mga tinatawag natin na influencers, they are so-called talent. We also have labors na kung saan madalas naririnig natin ito doon sa mga nagtatrabaho sa construction. And also we have the same term, okay, when we are repairing our workforce working in a factory or simply we call it our people. Let's have a definition of HRM. By the definition, this is the art of procuring, developing, and maintaining competent workforce. Meaning to say, sabi procuring, we are asking people to be our employees. So, sino-sino yung mga empleyado or ano-ano yung mga trabaho na nag-aantay para sa ating mga aplikante. And then once they are get into our business, okay, we're going to develop them in terms of skills or whatever the work that they need to be done so that mas makatulong sila na ma-achieve no, yung goal ni organization. And all throughout, yung empleyado na to, dahil the business may exert a lot of effort para mas lalong, let's say, ma-develop yung kakayahan ng ating mga manpower. Okay, isa rin sa trabaho nila is to maintain them. Okay, para pag sinabing maintain them, as much as possible, itong mga competent na ito ay hindi nila maiisipan na umalis sa company. And then the function of HRM is also performed in organization that facilitates the most effective use of people to achieve organizational and individual goals. Isa rin sa kanilang function is to know kung saan pa capable, what position or in what specific task. Okay, bakit? Kasi kapag doon sila mas magaling, or let's say doon sila mas madunong, may mas nagiging effective sila in doing their jobs. Now, when we talk about HRM, we're not just referring to the HR people na kung saan sila yung nag-hire, sila yung nag-train. No. Okay, may mga businesses na kung saan hindi pa nila kaya mag-hire ng mga HRM people. Okay? So, most of the time, yung mga nag-hire kapag small business pa lang, it's either owner, okay, ito rin yung trabaho niya, to procure, no? To develop and also to maintain their people. So, let's say, yung mga managers, okay, they're also part of HRM. Okay? Now, Again, HRM is planning. Kapag sinabing planning, ano-ano ba yung mga posisyon na mawawala? Or let's say, mawawala ng empleyado. Okay, ano-ano yung mga posisyon na kung saan kakailangan na natin ng empleyado? Okay, so you need to have a certain plan. It's either, it can be connected with the operation of the business. It's either si business ay mag-expand. So sa HRM, kailangan magplano na siya. Sino yung mga taong kukunin niya? Ano-ano ang mga experience na dapat meron ang mga empleyadong ito o yung mga tinatawag natin na let's say, mga candidate. And then, organizing the rec team. So, dahil meron ng certain plan kung sino-sino yung mga empleyado na to, yung HRM din natin, they are the one who need to organize. So, kung saan ito hahanapin, okay, paano sila magkakanda, ano mga tinatawag natin lala. Let's say, they have a job caravan, that's also part of organizing. Okay, how they organize it, no? How they, let's say, paano nila kukunin yung mga steps on hiring people. So, this is also part of organizing. Organizing also deals with how the HRM can organize people, okay, with a specific position or kung saan silang department dapat magtrabaho. And controlling of procurement. So, all throughout, no, sila yung nagko-control kasi hindi naman pwedeng mag-hire sila na mag-hire. Hindi rin pwedeng hindi sila mag-hire. No? So, again, nakadepende yun kung ano yung goal ni business or kung ano yung status ni business. And also development. Pag sinabing development, syempre, hindi lang naman ito nakafocus lang doon sa kikitain ni business. Okay? Hindi lang ito nakafocus doon sa makakabuti kay business. But also, HRM need to definitely have a job on how they develop employees. Develop in terms of, let's say, skills. Okay? Development in terms of, let's say, they do different seminars. Okay? Or training. Ayan, para mas lalong ma-develop hindi lang yung skills ng empleyado but also to develop din, let's say, yung kanilang tinatawag na personality. Now, in terms of compensation, ayan, sa HRM din meron siya tinatawag na matrix na kung saan nakalagay dito kung magkano dapat yung sasagurin ng isang empleyado na nakadepende sa kakayahan nito o nakadepende sa kanyang expertise, nakadepende sa kanyang natapos, nakadepende sa kanyang capabilities. And then for integration, ay gumagawa ng iba't ibang pamamaraan ang management para po maging united yung mga empleyado na meron siya. Next is the maintenance. Maintenance is dealing with how the management assure or secure the safety of our personnel. Not only the safety, but also in terms of maintaining whatever the track of our employees. And separation of human resources. So may mga pagkakataon talaga na kung saan may mga empleyado hindi na sila masaya or let's say may ibang opportunity, no, outside the organization. So this time, may nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na separation. Now, these are the three core elements of HRM. Obviously, we have organization. Talk about organization. This is a group of people working together for a common purpose. So kung ano man yung tinatrabaho nila, this is part of the management. HRM process consists of planning, again, attracting new applicants, and also develop our employees in terms of skills, knowledge, or let's say ability, and retaining the human resource or our employees in the organization. So these are the functions of human resource management. For number 1, we have the so-called job design and job analysis. Ito po dalawang ito po yung mas nagiging madalas, no, nagiging function ng mga nagiging part ng HRM. When we talk about job design, okay, ito po yung proseso na kung saan dinidescribe and fully well detailed kung ano yung mga nagiging duties or kung ano yung mga responsibilities ng kada posisyon na meron sa isang organization. And also, their job is to hire the right employee based on the nationality or even based on the way they search. It is also imperative to identify the traits of an ideal candidate who will be suitable for whatever the job is available. This can be accomplished by describing ano po ba yung mga skills and characteristic traits na hinahanap nila sa isang empleyado. Doing this, malaking tulong ito para malaman nila kung ano po ba yung candidate na hindi lang gusto nila but also kung ano ba talaga or sino ba talaga yung mga candidate para sa mga bakanteng posisyon. They can also be able to to identify the key minimum requirements in the candidate to qualify for the job. Next is we have the employee hiring and selection. Pag sinabing hiring and selection, nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na recruitment. So ito rin po yung nagiging primary functions ng ating human resource management. Ang ine-aim nila dito is to obtain and also retain qualified and efficient employees to achieve the goals and even the objective of the company. So all this starts with the hiring the right employees out of the list of all applicants and also favorable candidates. Ang HRM din po ay nakakatulong para mag-source or let's say para mag-identify yung mga ideal candidates para sa interview at para ma-select yung mga candidates na ito. The candidates also are subject na sila ay dumaan sa tinatawag na comprehensive screening process. Bakit po? Para po ma-filter ni organization kung sino po yung most suitable candidates from the pool of applicants. Pag sinabing pool of applicants, madami kasi sila. So the screened candidates are then taken through different interview. So nagkakaroon sila mga different tests, no? It's either this is a test to analyze their skills, to analyze their knowledge, and also to analyze the work experience required for the job position. Like what I said kanina, this is the primary function of HRM, which is the recruitment. Kapag po natapos na silang mag-recruit, again, the candidates get selected after the round of interview. They are then provided the job offer and the prospective job position. So this process is important. Why? Because these selected employees will, after all, they may really help the company realize its goals and objectives. For number 3, we have employee training and development. Ang HRM, they need to, let's say, propose or they need to implement a proper training para po ma-ensure yung tinatawag na right development to select candidate. Bakit? Kasi ito po yung pinaka-crucial na function ng HR na mamamili na sila na magiging part ng organization. Ibig sabihin nito, kahit pumasa na sa mga test, pumasa na sa mga interview, pero during the training, o kapag hindi sila pumasa doon, may possibility na kung saan hindi sila suitable for a certain position, maybe they are qualified for another position. And the success of the organization is definitely depends on how well the employees are trained for the job and what are the growth and development opportunities within the organization. So, ang pinaka nagiging role ng HR dito is to ensure that the new employees acquire the company's specific knowledge and skills to perform their tasks efficiently. Bakit po? To boost the overall efficiency and the productivity of the workforce, which ultimately result in a better business for the company. HRM also plays a very crucial role in preparing employees for bigger tasks and responsibilities, which definitely leads to a very holistic development of employees at work. And the organization need to provide an able growth and development opportunity to its employees. They need also to consider to be a healthy organization. Next, we have the compensation and benefits. So, yung compensation and benefits, ito po yung pinaka-essential or let's say, ito yung pinaka-main point na tinatawag na total cost of expenditures inside the organization. It is also a must to flag the expenses. At the same time, it is also necessary to pay the employees well. So therefore, the role of human resource management is to formulate attractive yet efficient benefits and compensation package to attract more employees into the workplace without disturbing the finances of the company. The primary objective of the benefits and compensation is to establish equitable and also fair remuneration for everyone. Plus, HRN can use benefits and compensation as a leverage to boost employees' productivity as well as establish a good public image of the business. So therefore, one of the core HR department function is to lay down clear policies and guidelines about employee compensation and their available benefits. One of the function of HR manager is to ensure the effective implementation of these policies and guidelines. This creates equality and build transparency among the employees and the management within the organization. So after all, the level of employee satisfaction at work is directly proportional to the compensation and benefits they receive. For number 5, we have employee performance management. So the next activity on HR function is to list. They have the list of effective employee performance management. This effective performance management ensure that the output of the employees meet the goal and objective of the organization. So performance management doesn't just focus on the performance of the employee. It is also focused on the performance of the team. I mean, even the department or the entire organization. So these are the list of functions in terms of performing management. Number 1, they need to develop a proper job description. Number 2, they need to initiate appropriate selection to hire the right candidates for the job positions. Number 3, they also need to provide the right training and education needed to enhance the performance of the employees. Number 4, enabling real-time feedback and coaching employees to boost efficiency among them. For number 5, they also need to conduct performance review monthly or quarterly to discuss the positive and also the improvement areas of employees. Next is they also need to formulate a proper exit interview process to understand why experienced employees choose to leave the company. They also designing a proper appraisal and also the compensation system that recognize the rewards the workforce for their efforts and also for the hard work. For number 6, we have managerial relations. Relationship in every employment are normally divided into 2 parts, okay, which is the managerial relationship or the managerial relations and the labor relation. While labor relation is mainly about the relationship between workforce and the company. Managerial relations deals with the relationship between the various processes in the organization. So managerial relations determine the amount of work that need to be done in given day and how to mobilize the workforce to accomplish the objectives. So it also about giving the appropriate project to the right group of employees to ensure efficient completion of the project. At the same time, it also entails managing the work schedules of employees to ensure continued productivity. It is also essential that HR handle such relationships or relations effectively to maintain the efficiency and productivity of the company. For number 7, we have the labor relation. So yung labor relation are also essential to maintain harmonious relationship between employees at the workforce. So at the workforce, many employees work together towards a single objective. However, individually, everyone is different from the other in terms of character. So kahit ganun yung nangyayari, it is natural to observe a communication gap between 2 employees. If left unattended, such behavior can spoil labor relations to the company. Therefore, it is crucial for the HR to provide proper rules, regulations, and policies about labor relations. This way, the employees have a proper framework within which they need to operate. Therefore, every employee will be aware of the policies which will create a cordial and harmonious work environment. For number 8, we have employee engagement and communication. When we talk about employee engagement, this is also a crucial part of every organization because the higher level of engagement guarantee better productivity and greater employee satisfaction. Efficiently managing employees' engagement activities will help in improving the employee retention rates too. HRM is the right agent who can manage the employee engagement seamlessly. So proper communication and engagement will do wonders for the employees as well as the organization. The more engaged the employees are, the more committed and motivated they will be. For number 9, we have the health and safety regulation. Every employee should mandatorily follow the health and safety protocol by the authorities. So our labor law insists every employee to provide whatever training, supplies, or even the PPE. Diba? May iba dyan, nagbibigay din ng mga face mask, face shield na kung saan nakalagay yung mga logo ng mga businesses. It's essential information to ensure the safety and health of all the employees. Integrating the health and safety relations with the company procedures or culture is the right way to ensure the safety of all employees. So making these safety regulations part of the company activity is one of the important functions of HRM. For number 10, we have personal support for employees. HRM assists employees when they run into personal problem, which may interfere with the workflow. So along with discharging administrative responsibilities, HR department also help employees in need. Since the pandemic, the need for employee support and assistance has substantially increased. Like for example, many employees needed extra time off and medical assistance during the peak period of pandemic. For those who reach out for help, whether it may be in the form of insurance or assistance or extra leaves, company provide help through HR teams. For number 11, the succession planning. This is a core function of HRMs. It aims to plan, to monitor, and to manage the so-called growth path of every organization, the growth path of the employees from within the organization. What usually happens is that promising and bright employees within the organization who have excelled their roles or handpicked by their supervisor and HRs and their growth paths are developed. Napaka-importante po sa mga empleyado na kung saan ma-recognize sila or they may feel that they are valued inside the organization. Bakit? Because they're investing their time, they're also investing their effort. So habang ginagawa nila yon, time to time, no, nag-growth or nag-develop si employee inside the organization. So therefore, nag-i-stay sila, no, sa company for the long run. However, while developing such employees towards a higher role, companies must keep in mind several aspects such as improving employees' engagement, assigning challenging tasks, and even assigning activities. Ngayon, may mga empleyado din na nag-leave sa organization. Maybe these employees prove to be disruptive and maybe the job is too much expensive doon sa business. So therefore, succession planning is the savior of some sorts as it helps also to identify the next person who is just right to replace the outgoing individual. For number 12, we have industrial relations. It's usually the production lines and manufacturing units where the HR function is mostly used. So, may mga makikita tayong mga union na tinatawag or group of people na kung saan nakikipag-bargain sa management in terms of their salaries, in terms of their benefits. Dito, mas nagiging vocal yung mga empleyado kung ano yung feeling nilang para sa kanila or nararapat para sa kanila. So, the true motive of industrial relation is to touch a lot of issues within the company. For instance, industrial relation may be placed to meet wage standard, reduce instances that call for strike, and also to protest. HRM plays a major role in the smooth functioning of the organization. So the process starts with formulating the right policies for the job requirements. After discussing this topic, now we understood na napakalaking role na ginagampanan ng ating mga HRM or part ng ating HRM. Bakit? Kasi from the start pa lang, okay, they need to make sure the smooth functioning of the organization. So the process starts with formulating the right policies for the job requirements, ends with ensuring the successful business growth of the company. Therefore, HRM works as an invincible agent that leads together all the aspects of the organization to ensure the smooth progress. Now, let's talk about the foundation of human resource development or the HRD. Now, I use this HRDT for you to give you a concrete insight or a concrete idea on how this theory happened. Okay, ano po ba yung pundasyon na meron dapat si HR para po mas makatulong siya in terms of the performance inside the organization. The three component HRD theories and their integration are visually portrayed as a three-layer stones. So ito po yung economic, system, and physiological. So ano po ba yung tatlo na to? Unahin muna natin yung physiological. So yung physiological po, This theory captured the core human aspect of developing human resources, as well as the socio-technical interplay of human and system. So, para mas maunawaan natin kung sino yung nagtrabaho at paano natin sila mapapatrabaho na maayos, kailangan natin malaman kung ano ba yung needs ng mga tao na yun. Kasi somehow, they cannot work properly if they don't have enough resources to fulfill their duties. Number two, we also have the economic theories. So in economic theories, it's also captured the core issue of efficient and also the effective utilization of resources to meet productive goals in the competitive environment. So kahit binibigyan mo sila ng resources, they also need to understand na they need to use this in efficient and effective manners para po walang nasasayang. And then, for the last, we have system theory. So in this theory, the management or the HRM capture the complex and dynamic interaction of environments. So organization, work process, the group, or even the individual variables operating off any point in time and over time. So pag sinabing system, the people inside the organization must know the process inside. Kasi kahit po meron silang resources, even though they know what to do, but if they don't know how to do it, how these things work out, okay, the people may not understand or the people may not know kung ano po ba yung output na dapat ibigay nila sa kanilang tinatrabaho. And as you can see, meron tayong tinatawag na ethics sa baba, firmly on the floor or the host organization. So an ethical rug serves as a filter through which the integrity of both HRD and host organization can be maintained. So ano man po yung magiging decision or kung ano man po yung magiging let's say trabaho na bawat isa inside the organization, ang lagi po dapat nagiging basic dyan is what we call the ethical work. What will be the behavior inside the job or inside the company, kung ano po ba yung mga ginagawa nila. Yung mga ginagawa po ba nila is ethical? Okay, so doon po lagi yun naka-anchor. It must be fair. Whatever the decision they may have, it must be always anchored with the so-called business ethics. Now, when we talk about HRM, kung mapapansin ninyo, from the start I discussed about the job, about the function, about the role. Okay, they need to think strategically. They need to think not just only to analyze everything. They need to have the so-called strategy in terms of doing their jobs or in terms of doing the HRM task. So here, we have the process on how they do it strategically. Number one, identify the objective of the organization. So the first step in the process of creating variable concept of strategic human resource management process is to understand the organization thoroughly. So para mas maunawaan natin yun or para mas maunawaan ng bumubuo ng HRM yun, okay, they need to look on their mission, vision, goals, and even the objective in articulating what it's aimed to achieve. So identify both the long-term and even the short-term growth plans as it will prove useful in creating an effective strategy. So the HR department should have a clear picture at the onset because only then it will be able to formulate a plan for the future. For the second step or the second process, okay, they need to evaluate or the HR need to evaluate the capabilities of the organization. Bakit? Kasi po, ang employee, sila po yung tinatawag na backbone. Tumatakbo ang business. The policy related to strategic HRM will revolve around them. So if you are looking for effective steps to create a strategic human resource management process, then you need to evaluate the HR capabilities of your organization. You must have a clear understanding of every aspect of human resources working in your company. So take the help of skills inventory to know which of the employees are experts in their specific area and which one are contributing the highest and fulfilling organizational goals and objectives. You can also take those help for you to evaluate or for you to assess or review the performance and the skills of your employees. So this step will prove a blessing to the company as it will help to identify the employees who are interested for their growth and are looking for opportunities for training and development within the organization. For number 3, analyze the current HR capabilities. So until and unless the HR department is aware of the current HR competence, it is impossible to create a viable plan for the future. So a proper assessment is the demand of the hour, as it will help to recognize both opportunities and even the barriers on the way. Implement an action plan that will recognize barriers and deal with threats. It will also help to take advantage of opportunities. At this time, the strategic human resource management team will identify the best of the human resources the company has and the current skills they possesses. You can also offer training and learning opportunities so that they can later serve the organization needs effectively. For number 4, forecast future HR requirements for your organization. So the HR department now has a greater understanding of the current HR capabilities of the company. It is also time to analyze them thoroughly based on the business objectives. If you are looking for effective steps to create a strategic human resource management process, then this is the time to estimate the forecast for the future HR requirements for the organization. So the businesses also need to predict HR needs based on the numbers of employees and associated skills that will be required to fulfill future organizational needs and the numbers of employees and skills that the organization already has to fill those needs. Now, dealing with forecasting will help to determine whether the skills of human resources are being utilized at optimal capacity. Does the company need to create a new job and related roles to secure the future of the organization, or whether the current HR team, its strategies, and also practices are enough to accommodate future growth and development? For number 5, we have determined the required tools to fulfill job obligation. To create a strategic human resource management process, we need to determine the tools necessary to fulfill job obligations. It is the responsibility of the HR department to contact the appropriate departments to know how the tools that are being used by the employees and are having an impact on their abilities and resulting performance. It is the time also to identify gaps and tools so that it will be fulfilled to encourage an organized workforce. For number 6, implement the human resource management strategy. So start at the beginning and search for the applicants that have the skills identified during the strategic planning. Now, organize interviews and other selection process to assess whether the candidate is equipped to handle the job position. Hire the applicant who is the most talented. Design an effective onboarding and training program to guide them through the initial phase. For number 7, take evaluate and corrective action. If you're looking for effective steps to create a strategic human resource management process, then take evaluate and corrective action. Carry out a review to track the progress and identify a specific area that needs to be improved. Thank you for listening.